Hey guys, this is Joseph with the Hard Time Shaman podcast, training up a better class of man. And today we want to give you all a little update. David is not here, unfortunately. He has been dealing with a root canal, so he is not quite in shape to have a discussion today. But we wanted to make good on our promise to y'all. When you're hearing this, this will be March 9th, 2025. This is our essentially a season 4 update. We're not quite ready for the first episode as of yet, but we did want to check in with y'all, give you an update on where we're at, what we're doing, and kind of what you can expect with everything moving forward. Of course, with episode 1 of this new season, we will go over the new curriculum, how we finalize the new curriculum, where we're going with that. We plan on giving you guys an update on the book, the Patreon, the Discord, all that good stuff, and kind of what you can expect from not just this season, but all of our seasons going forward. But with today's episode, I just wanted to do a quick check-in, kind of give you guys a teaser on all that, on everything that we're doing there, kind of what we're going to talk about. Probably even on this episode's episode artwork, we'll have the actual tree that we're going to be basing our curriculum off of. I think that we discussed that in our last episode, where we kind of told you all that we were going to be taking a little bit of a break to kind of reset everything and push off on better footing. But quite a while ago, maybe even a year ago, we had this idea for a skill tree, and we didn't really make good on that idea. We didn't really go much anywhere with that, but that idea has stuck with me, and we've actually incorporated that as the framework for our curriculum. So something that we've been lacking just throughout starting the business and having the podcast for these years, we've always kind of tried to take a step back, see what we're doing well, see what we're not. And something that's always kind of been a thorn in our side is not having a solid curriculum, a solid foundation that we're building off of. We branch off what we think are good, level 1 skills, think, trying to cover a huge wide net on everything and what we think people should know, but there wasn't that underlying foundation, that underlying framework there. So we would just kind of bounce around from one thing to another, and towards the end of last season, we were bouncing around to just things that we were really interested in, and that doesn't really serve you guys all that well. So we have developed a curriculum with this tree in mind of, okay, what is the foundation of any skill that we teach you guys? Okay, where does that branch up into what is the core of kind of what we do, and then how does that branch off even further into these these little tendrils, these branchettes, these leaves of what really fleshes out a better class of man. So really excited to bring that to you guys. We have we've been working really hard. We have a great visual that's not only going to be great for like the cover page, but also alternate images that will give y'all, as you follow along, a really great imagery that you can visualize what we're talking about, where we're at in the curriculum, and you can see as we progress, as we build, how this skill set is building and evolving, and where we're lacking and where we'll fill up. So it'll be a lot of fun there. I'm really excited about that. That's been a huge development for us just as a company. And speaking of that, I think the biggest, outside of having a solid curriculum, the biggest thing that you guys are going to see that's going to be different is that these past years that we've been doing this podcast, this has essentially been outreach. This has essentially been, hey, this is free content for everybody. We want everybody to learn this stuff. We want everybody to, get better. Obviously, that's not going to change. Um, but it has essentially been just a outreach movement with, a little bit of business stuff sprinkled on the side. And that's been our second biggest change, I would say. Biggest, obviously as a company, but as an ideology, it's been a big change as well. So we've just shifted our internal focus, David and I, from hey, this is a podcast, this is a place for us to just use our passion, our love of teaching to reach new people, and to put out some good in the world, into hey, we're not exclusively podcasting. This is a business, and we're going to start acting like it. We're going to be focusing on, not only bringing a really great product to you guys, but focusing on our patrons, on our Discord, on putting out guides with every single episode, putting out different assets with every single episode to try to cater to the consumer. Because outside of the audio format that we have been focusing on up to this point, we are going to really be investing time and effort into our written stuff. So typing out all of our show notes for everybody, typing out different ways of processing information, essentially. So we'll have imagery, artwork, graphic assets that you guys can use and follow along with during the episode, to really give you the full picture of what we're doing. And that'll naturally bring change to the Discord. Discord's still pretty small. It's got a nice hometown feel, but we're hoping to utilize the Discord more heavily, not only for kind of a pulse check on where people are at with the content, what they like, what they don't like, what they want to see, but really building out the community in that sense. Right now we have a really great community on the Discord, but that can always grow, that can always be better. And maybe even expanding into having like a patron only corner, or using the Discord as kind of just that space where everybody can connect and continue to build the community and make us better in the long run. We have so many so many channels on there. We'll probably streamline all of that, but really great conversations happening there just every day. I'm always blown away by what I find there whenever I open up the app. And then of course updates on the book. That's not gonna be anything new, patrons. Y'all can expect a little more love in that area, maybe even improving stuff for us, and running scenarios by you guys, and just kind of seeing how y'all like our writing style, and maybe storyboarding. So it'll be a lot of fun. It'll be pretty all inclusive. Speaking of the Patreon though, and this will probably be my last point, guys. Like I said, it's just me giving y'all this update, and we have quite a lot to do for this first kind of episode drop. But speaking of the Patreon, so we are going to do a overhaul of the Patreon. This is the easiest way for us to monetize the show, and to kind of make the whole business thing a reality, outside of like merchandise, outside of like actually doing the work, making the podcast, making the guides. This is the avenue for us to make income and to do this more and bring you guys better content. So currently what we're thinking about, and we'll go into some more detail in episode 1, we are thinking of essentially a 4-tier system with the Patreon. So first tier is always going to be free. The original reason why I started the Patreon was as an additional backup to the show, so that anybody, doesn't matter what, uh, what app they use to listen to the show. They'll always have the Patreon that they can double back on in case something happens, we don't upload, or we get shut down or whatever. It's an update, or a backup for the show rather. So that'll always be free. Y'all will always be able to listen to us, get the episodes for free. That is never going to change. The way that Patreon comes in is the extra stuff that we can give along with that. So tier 1, and these prices are gonna vary, so I won't list them, but obviously it's going to be super affordable, super easy on you guys, because we're going for community, we're going for quantity and quality. So we're not going to make this super inclusive and just jack up the price that doesn't suit our ethos, that doesn't suit what we're trying to do here. I digress. So tier 1, looking at teasers for the next episode. Probably I'm thinking essentially a weekly update kind of thing. So we check in with our patrons every week. It's like, hey, this is what we're doing with this is what we're doing with the episode pack, this is what we're doing with the book, this is our maybe personal updates, what have you, just kind of a pulse check. Tier 3 would be everything in tier 2, plus our show notes, the pre and post shows, maybe an exclusive channel where you guys can check in. And then tier 4, everything as in previous tiers, along with early access to the show, the guides that are going to be with every single episode. This will be the only place to get that outside of purchasing the guides separately on the Patreon. And as we go with episodes, as we build out the skill tree and continue to let it flourish, let it grow, it's going to be more and more economical for you guys. Instead of having to buy however many guides, this will just be an easy way to keep on top of everything, along with exclusive episodes and other stuff, maybe merch. We're still working on that, but also I think we'll probably do, like, every time that we do just a meeting, me and David will record a bit of it for the patrons. But that is essentially what we're thinking. A lot of this is still subject to change. We have nailed down the curriculum pretty much, at least the bones of it. We will talk about that with episode 1, but as far as the business aspect of it, it is, obviously it's an online business. People make it work, but we're trying to find a way that suits us, suits our families, and gives you guys the best content that we possibly can, because that's something that we pride ourselves on, is just the quality of the show and what we bring to the table. So wanted to check in with you guys. Thank you for listening. I know that we have been dark the last few weeks, but if y'all had seen the last episode, that was by design. We need a break. We needed time to reset, and that is what we did. So very excited to move forward with everything and to come back stronger. Just the more I look at past episodes, the more I look at where we are, I see where we want to go, and I feel like we finally have an avenue to make that happen, to make that work. So I couldn't be more excited. This is going to be really great, guys. So as far as the actual episode 1, I don't have a hard line on that one, guys. I think at the latest, probably, honestly, probably for my peace of mind and to make sure we have everything tacked up, give us 2 to 3 weeks, but maybe even at the start of April. But I know that's a little bit. We will, send out teasers to, give you proof of life that we're still here. But, if we're going to do this, we want to do this right. And we've had a lot of medical stuff coming between the two of us. We've had family stuff coming between the two of us. So, it's always something, but we don't want that to detract from from the show and what we're trying to do. So we're doing it. We're going to do it right. And we thank you all so much for being with us. It's an honor to be serving you guys. And, every time that I get a message saying that y'all learned something or y'all, appreciate the show, it's huge. It does me really good. So excited to hear from you guys and to, give you all these updates. And I'm really excited for episode 1. So we'll see you there, guys. Until next time, I'm Joseph with the Hard Time Strongman podcast, cheering up a better class of man. Stay in the fight.